checking out my video. I'm reviewing the Kegland Fermzilla. I have the 7.1 gallon or 27 liter model. I'm just going to be doing a brief review of it, my experience with it. I have to say overall, and compared with other fermenters I've used over time, I've been home brewing for about 10 years now, a little over that. And I've used buckets, I've used carboys, I've used stainless steel buckets, I've used kegs. Currently I have the Fermzilla and I also have a Spike Flex Plus. And both are really good fermenters. I'll do the Spike Flex Plus in another video, but focusing on the Fermzilla, I really like it. It has a lot of accessories, a lot of features. There are some specific reasons I went with that, which I'll get into. And I think if you need it for the reasons, for specifically if it fits in with the way you want to dry hop, and also if you're interested in collecting yeast, it's a really good fermenter for that. Obviously, you don't have to have it, especially if you're just getting into brewing. But for all the accessories, the price point and everything, I think it's really a good fermenter, and it's worth checking out if you're in the market. There are some differences, of course, from other fermenters. This is the first fermenter I've used regularly in a while that isn't stainless steel. So since it's PET, you have to keep that in mind. You can't do no-chill brewing directly into it. The manufacturer recommends that you get your wort down to at least 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 C before you go into it. So you need to take that into consideration. I don't really do no chill brewing, so it's not an issue for me. A big plus, at least for me, is that it is a pressure vessel. They rate it up to 35 psi or 2 bar, I think, which is great for if you're doing pressure transfers, keeping oxygen out of it when you're doing hoppy beers, which is a big concern for me, or something I want to focus on in my brewing. So that was a big part of me looking into it and eventually purchasing it. I'm not going to go into in this video too much about all the assembly details and all that kind of stuff. Actually, on Kegland's website, they have some really good videos explaining how to put it together, how to clean it, all that kind of stuff, and they're very thorough rather in explaining all of that. They mention in the video, but just to reiterate, when you're putting it together, on all the threaded parts that go together, there are O-rings. So since the O-rings are creating the seal, you don't have to really crank anything together or over tighten it. And most of the problems, at least I've seen on forums and stuff, have stemmed from that. People over tighten things when they're putting it together, and then when they want to clean it, that kind of thing, they have issues getting it apart. But definitely check out Kegland's website. Also, there's a Facebook user group that's really good as a resource explaining people's personal experiences and a few tips and tricks with using these. But yeah, check out the Kegland website, check out that user group, and it's pretty straightforward and easy to use overall. So like I said, for all the accessories that it offers, I'll kind of talk through those when I'm going through the rest of the video. Its price overall, I think it's definitely a good fermenter if it fits in your needs. Like I was saying, one of the specific issues in my brewing, or one of the things I wanted to do, number one is I like having a pressure vessel, something that I can transfer beer in and out of with gas, something that I can keep under pressure during fermentation, and especially, which I'll show in the video, being able to pressurize a collection jar and try to evacuate as much of the oxygen as possible for dry hopping, and also using those to collect yeast, I thought was an awesome feature, and I've been really happy with so far using. So I think it's a really good fermenter for those reasons, and I'll go through with some other videos I took when I was doing those showing how that works. So let's check out the other videos, and again, thanks for checking this out. So this is just my knockout after I finished brewing, going into the fermenter. I saw on Morebeer a quick tip for popping the lid out. Just screw off the nut a little bit and use a wrench as a lever. Super easy, and it works pretty great. Here at my fermenter in my garage, and as you can see, it's in my fermentation chamber, which is like a Pepsi fridge type cooler. If you look at the top of the fermenter, see there's a spunding valve on there. So during fermentation that was up to about 11 psi, and then I crashed it from this particular beer. I was using Lutra, which is one of the Vike strain from Omega, which ferments in the mid 80s, even though a little higher than that. That's why I fermented at as 85. Then I crashed it down to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's the temperature I'm going to do my dry hop at. So again, what I'm going to do, the valve right now between the collection jar and the fermenter is open. I'm going to close that. I'm going to remove the collection jar and then attach my collection jar that has the dry hop in it, purge it, and then open everything back up. So we'll get that underway. Alright, so I purged it with the cap on the other side open for a few seconds, for about 20-30 seconds. Then I filled it and then purged it. I did that 3 times. Now it's up to about 15 psi. That should be good. Certainly hope that that got rid of most, if not almost all of the oxygen in that collection jar. So now I'm going to open my butterfly valve back up and dry hop the beer. And there we go. Dry hop with hopefully almost no oxygen ingress is completed. Thanks again for checking out my video. I hope it was helpful and informative for you. Again, the Fermzilla I feel is a really good fermenter if it suits your situation. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat below. And I'll try to get up some more videos with some other homebrew equipment. My other fermenter, the Spike Flex Plus, my brew system, I have an Anvil Foundry that I'm pretty happy with, and some other odds and ends here and there. But happy brewing. Take care.